Greetings, Alexandria educators. Rick Sanstead here again, reconnecting around Fishing for Ideas, next steps. So thanks to all of your engagement. We had over 80 ideas submitted on all different thoughts and categories, which is awesome. So just a little quick review before we jump into next steps. Reminder that the why behind this, really around some data that shared that creativity and innovation was in need of improvement. And then our desire to integrate our systems thinking and human-centered design, with that first step being to empathize. A little reminder of human-centered design model and our partnership with Innovate K-12 around this work as well. This is the platform that we're using to help facilitate this work. Again, with the high school and DMS pilot last year, all sites, in addition to Compass as well. And then you see the other Minnesota school districts that are participating. So also a firm belief that our staff witness and experience what happens on a day-to-day basis. You get a chance to see successes and challenges. We have a chance to share some of those ideas and hopefully turn them into tangible solutions. Now, one of the pieces that I've been struggling with a little bit on this is we have some ideas, and in this Innovate K-12 world, they're called big scary ideas, or BSIs, as they're known, and so some of those might be like my idea around an assistant superintendent. So just feeling like there's not enough capacity, I'm not as fast as I want to be, and so I put in this idea that we should have an assistant superintendent. Well, so then I go back and try to dig into this a little bit and think about the 5 whys. So, well, there's not enough time, and there's no way that anybody could understand the spectrum from kindergarten phonics to high school ag pathways. That's just not reasonable. There's way too much testing, so that's just true. And then the Minnesota Department of Education submissions and feedback is pretty regular and constant. And then, of course, the standard challenge in any job, I think, is too many meetings. So that's why I submitted this idea about an assistant superintendent, because that just seems to make sense. Well, we all know that that's not happening, right? That's just, one might say, silly in that sense. And so really the work of this is to find out what's the problem behind the solution. So that might have been my idea or my solution, and yet I know it's not happening. And so one of the things that I then would think about is how might I prioritize my work? How do I make better, take more care of the calendar as far as scheduling things, trying to be more efficient on the scheduling side? How do I put trust in others and their expertise from our principals and administrators, our teachers? We have ag teachers who know their content. I don't have to know the content because they do. Same thing with our kindergarten teachers. And so then I can feel like I've addressed the problem, which is more around probably time management than it was around that the solution was hiring another person. And plus, what a silly title, assistant superintendent. Just would never work. It's not possible. So thinking about how do I manage my expectations as I have submitted ideas. So many of you have submitted ideas. And really that this process then is to figure out what the problem is behind that solution. Knowing that lean solutions are seeking to address and acknowledge the problem, build momentum to tackle a bigger problem, have a bias toward action, and hopefully transform our way of thinking about what's in front of us. And so really that this HCD process, or human-centered design process, will lead us to lean solutions that are feasible, that are actionable as we get to second semester or the second part of this year. Pairwise voting. So this is the step that helps us get to that spot. So each idea will be matched against other ideas in the category. Our categories are our schools. Please only vote for your school or your site ideas. We'd love to keep those internal. Those that submit ideas will not vote on their own submission. So if you're wondering, well, why can't I vote on my idea? How come it never shows up? That's actually true. It will never show up for you. Other people will vote on your idea. Those sites with double-digit ideas, which is a number of you, will likely not see every pair when voting. And so you may not see some of those ideas, or you may not get a vote depending on how that works, because the software puts those voting options across all people are voting, not just you. And then would encourage you to circle back frequently to vote. That's a good thing, to participate in. So a little sample how this works pairwise. It'll be idea 1 versus idea 2. And so as you see this would take place across the system, you can see how you might get idea 1 versus idea 2, but then the next time you get idea 3 versus idea 5, and you're like, well, why didn't I get to do idea 1 versus idea 3? Well, somebody else did that one. And so that's how that kind of plays out. So know that you may not see every idea, particularly those of you in schools that have double-digit ideas entered. And then again, invite you to engage. I think you did a great job engaging on the idea side. Way to go! That's a celebration. If you have some time to vote today, great. Continue to comment, question. I think those questions around why I talked about the big scary ideas or the BSIs, like the assistant superintendent. And that really this is how do we make sure that our mindset and expectations are clear as we go forward, that we want to make sure we go back to that lean process and lean solution that will allow us to take a first step in solving some of the problems that many of the ideas are seeking to solve. With that, I'll turn it over to your principals and facilitators for next steps. Have a great day.